Hi guys, and welcome to a Christmassy angling for you. It's not so Christmassy in the fact that it's not Christmas Day, but it's this time of year where I start to look at these little roundups of the year. And obviously this being 2022, there's been some tackle come out, maybe not as much as before COVID due to things getting back to normal, but there still has been some things out, and there's still some box movement on different things that I've done in the past. And what I'm alluding to, if you've never seen them, is I do my top videos, and this today is the one of a few that I'm going to do, and it's on seat boxes. So I broke it down into categories. All these seat boxes are currently on sale. That's the first number one thing about it. And I've rated each category into 5, obviously from 5 being number 5 in my taste to number 1 being the best. There's lots of other boxes around there that haven't made it in the list that are still very good boxes. This is just on my personal taste. I've broke this down into several categories, one being beginners, and that's a 50 to 200 pound category. One being an intermediate, which is 200 to 400 pound category. Advanced is 400 to 600, and then flagship is 600 plus. Now I'm going to keep looking down because I'm referring to my notes, because I no way I'm going to remember all this. And I've got the screen in front of me so I can pull up a little bit of information about each one, and pull in my own thoughts as well. So if you're looking to buy a new box in 2022, or with your Christmas money, or 2023, then these hopefully will give you my personal opinion about these certain boxes. What I will say is that having all these different categories just helps it break it down to different people's sort of price budgets, and in no way does that mean that there's not other boxes in that budget. It just means that these I've selected the ones I think are the best ones around that budget. Also, when I do this, I will be putting up a picture in this top left corner, so you can see exactly what box I'm talking about, which makes it a little bit easier if you are trying to Google it. I've tried to find the best price for every box on the market on the internet, so I'm going to pull up while I'm moving through the lists. The one thing I will say is, if you are local to our area, you know we support the guys at Fishing, Tackle and Bait in Doncaster, and they'll always beat the price. The price has to be a reputable supplier, for example, Angling Direct, or somewhere on the internet that they can verify that price against. But other than that, they will meet, match or beat the prices that are currently going on. So do try those if you are local. Definitely worth a shout. So without further ado, we'll get into category 1 and see what we've got on the list. Beginners, number 1 category. This category I've run from £50 to £200. Now, I will say you can go on marketplaces, get older boxes, or even newer boxes that are older, if that makes sense, that have been used, and get some really good deals. And I do recommend doing that if it's the right deal, and you sometimes can get a better box for less money than you would do obviously brand new, but then you do obviously run a risk depending on who you buy it from. So we're going to start with my number 5, and this is it's an old school faithful. It is the Shakespeare seat box. Now, you guys will obviously see it pop up on there. I don't know what colour I've chose, black or blue. You might have seen me do my challenge video where I did it for a junior angler giveaway, and what I did is I gave some gear away, and the box that I bought was one of these Shakespeare boxes. Now, I bought that for a tenner. Absolute bargain from a local guy. He's a member, and it had a cushion, and it does come with 2 sit-on sort of side trays or compartments. Now, this box is, like many of you out there, one of the first boxes that we used on the bank, certainly my generation, along with the Sunbridges and other boxes of that nature. They're just a solid box, and they stand the test of time. I still got one in the shed from my granddad. He used to take it with all his sea fishing gear to keep everything together, and it is what it is. It's a plastic box. It comes with a couple of little the sort of hook on when you undo it, and then quite a deep space underneath to allow you to put all your bits and bobs basically. And it doesn't, I don't think it comes with a shoulder strap. I'm just having a look. They don't come with the cushion, but you can pretty much fashion a cushion yourself, or find or get one that'll sort of fit on. So that is my first one, and at the moment that's 65 quid, which is a bargain really. If you look around, you probably get it for 50 quid new, even less in some places. And if you go on a marketplace, you will see hundreds of them usually, for anywhere from 5 quid upwards, depending on what the quality of them is. So a good one if you just want to take your grandkids, your kids to first try, just something to sit on, or if they're sitting to watch you or whatever, and you want to store things in them. Brilliant, perfect first box in my opinion. So the next one is a Daiwa DVEC. Now this is one that I have sat on, and I have had a fiddle about with. It's not been on the channel, and it's a decent little box, as you can see from up in the corner. It's got a little backrest seat, it's got a nice compartment underneath it, it comes with a double straps, and you know, it's got a nice area to store your rigs. It's got like a clip-off bottom tray, and it's really decent. The legs are 36mm as well, so you know, good for the attachments. 135 quid. Looks smart, and that really is another great little box if you want to take someone that's starting, or if you're fishing and you just want to go on a little canal session or a river session and you just want something small, and you can stick a side tray on there with the legs. It's Daiwa, it's got good mud feet, adjustable on an H-frame, so it's really good, and it's just a really light, compact, easy one to take either on a short session or a natural venue session, or for your kids. Brilliant one to get them involved in, and obviously it's just a little bit more prestige than obviously having a plastic box, but on the flip side it doesn't have as much storage as a Shakespeare box was. But I've put it in as my number 4 because I think it's just a great solid bit of kit for not a lot of money, that can do a lot of different things. You can stick the side trays and stuff on there. So that is my number 4. Now moving on, very similar box, and people might be shocked at this, but it's a Maver Reality seat box. Now this is about 175 quid, and this is where it starts to step up a little bit more. Now it hasn't got a foot plate still, but it has the front drawers. It has a clip lift up top, as you can see on the picture. As a pole seat, it flips up and you can store your rigs under there. It's got a detachable sort of big area at the bottom. I don't know if it's detachable actually, I just think it's a big deep area. I haven't seen one of these for a long time, but I did see some in Fishing Tackle, and I thought, you know what, just under a couple of £100, you've got a lot more storage, and then you can still add your additional side trays onto there as well. And I'll just give a quick read of what they say on here. Ultra lightweight. It also has padded seat cushion with pole sock, with pole sort of thingy, round legs for extra stability, single cross drawer underneath and up top, and 2 front drawers. So you have got a little bit more space. So another great one to go on the canal with, or the river. It's on an H-frame again, so you can get it to the right height, which means that you don't, if you're short like me, you can have it lower to the ground, which means if you're going to go to a natural venue, you don't need a foot plate. You can just put your feet straight onto obviously the ground below. So another great little starter box for children as well, because you can obviously lower it quite low down, and another great one if you're just wanting it to get started in fishing without spending a lot of budget. So that's my number 3. Now this is where we're going to take a little bit of a sidestep, and you guys might think I'm an absolute madman for suggesting this, but I'm still going to suggest it, and it is at number 2, the Westlake Mark 1. Now this bad boy at the moment, if you go on Fishing Republic, it is 85 quid, reduced from 210. Now as you can see from the photos, it looks quite nice. It's like a little bit like a Daiwa box. It's just great for the money. 30mm legs, side tray and dividers, large storage base, pole winder tray. and it only weighs 9.5 kilos dry weight. Padded cushion with a pole retention strap, and it also has a over strap as well. Now for 85 quid, that's pretty good. The cheaper, more no-namer brands used to be terrible. I mean, we go back to the Dragon Carp days, and you used to have the Avanti boxes and Panda boxes or Koala boxes, whatever they all were called, and they were terrible. But materials have come on, and technology's come on, and you know, people have found ways of doing it for cheaper. And I'm not embarrassed to say that for 85 quid as a starter junior pack is absolutely bob on. I think it's great. I just think that's such a great little price for it. I think, you know, it's absolutely superb. Now the other one that we're looking at, coming on to the number one, which is obviously what everybody wants to see, is again a Westlake product. Now this is 159 quid or 200 quid, sorry, or 160 quid, whichever way you want to look at it. And that's again at Fishing Republic, and that's a Seatbox Mark II. Again, this says it's reduced from $344.99, and I tell you, it looks bob on. It does. It looks absolutely bob on. I've seen them before. I've seen them a few times, and the quality is great for what the money you're spending on them. This one is a little bit different. So it comes with the foot plate. So you have on a H frame, the main box, which is effectively like your Mark 1 box, but it has an additional foot plate on there. I'll pull up the key features now while we're looking. Yeah, foot plate, additional padded cushion seat, side tray with dividers, large storage space. It's a really good price for what it is. It's got good reviews. People, you know, on here it's got quite a few reviews, all of them at 4 or 5 stars. And if you're getting into fishing, and this is what this category is about, 160 quid for a box with a foot plate, and you've got plenty of storage in there. Looks a little bit like a Daiwa box, to be fair. You can't really go wrong, and you know, I think, why not? I think we get het up on the sort of, it has to be Matrix, it has to be Preston, and you know, clearly some of us more advanced fishermen or people that have been fishing longer have different needs. But if someone wants to come and they don't fish very often, or they haven't got a great budget, go and have a look. Honestly, go and have a look. So that's the end of the beginners, and now we're going to move on to the intermediate. Right guys, so intermediate 200 to 400 pound bracket. Now this is going to be a common bracket for a lot of people, mainly due to it's quite a broad scale of 200 pound, but you get a lot of people that maybe don't want the beginner stuff and they just want to climb into the next bracket. This is the bracket for you. And again, I would be happy with, I mean, I'd fish on anything. You've seen me fish on anything. You've seen me fish on the cheaper gear, the intermediate, the advanced, the flagship. I would be happy any in this range, absolutely. And I'm going to start where we left off. This is my number 5. And again, it's a Westlake product. And this one is a Westlake seat combo. Now, this one is 250 quid, reduced from 572. Again, on Fishing Republic, so do have a look. And this is Bonza. This is good. So you get a very similar frame to a lot of the fixed frame boxes that like your Matrix and your Map and you know the Maver, that sort of, it's a bit like an Inception in some ways. You can see from up here, it's got that angular front. The box sits and clips onto the frame. It's got a back plate. And this one comes obviously with a foot plate, and it comes with a wheel kit, and it comes with a side tray with holes in it, and one with like a ground bait bucket. It also comes with a couple attachment keep net arm there, and sort of a utility arm and a pole sock, which would obviously probably go on that utility arm there. So it's also got standing leg, adjustable leg that sits on to give some stability to the side tray, which is just mega. I mean, that nice little package, 250 quid. Again, if you're in that 200 quid bucket sort of bracket, and you were going to additionally buy side trays, then you're not getting much change out of 50 quid for even a cheap side tray. So maybe this is the option for you, because you get a slightly better box as well. And I'll pull on to the key features. So it's a side drawer and 2 front drawers, an underbox cassette, features a ground bait bowl, a pole sock and short arm, a keep net arm, a side tray, a support off leg, a wheel kit, and a handle that can be used as a bump bar, and a 30mm leg. So this really could sort of do you for commercial match fishing. You could get into it there for a little bit of commercial match fishing. I think you'd be pretty sorted with that one. 250 quid, you can't really go wrong. So let's look now at what is our number 4. Now we're going slightly up in price with number 4. I'm just going to look at it on the screen and see where we are. Might be on this one. Get that one off. So we're going up with number 4 is the MAP H30 Mark II Lite, and that's 380 quid, or 379.99. And like I said, these are the cheapest prices I can find at the moment. They can be beaten, but you just need to shop around. Now, I've obviously owned a MAP box myself, so I can already tell you, and I've done a review on this one if you want to look on the channel. The H frame on this is great, really easy to use. Has the 30mm legs, really sturdy even though it's 30mm legs. A really solid foot plate, very, very light. Comes with 2 side drawers, one deep, one slim. The only downside is it doesn't come with the inserts that are about 15, one's about 15 quid, one's about 18 quid to buy them to go in. So it is a little bit of a pain, and that would probably push it up, or if not, stretch over that into the next bracket. So always good to do a bit of haggling, see if you can get them thrown in with them. But still to this day, I reckon that is the best seat that's out on the market at the moment that's not a custom seat. Gel seat, and it's got the slightly angled front so it doesn't hit the back of your legs, so it's comfortable to sit on for a long period of time. Has the pole sock, has the carrying strap. Just a great box, a solid box, looks great, black with blue accents, just looks mega. So that one is definitely one to look at your contending. If you're not a big pole angler and you don't want to carry loads of rigs, that's the only downside. You have to additionally separately carry the rigs, so that is something you have to think about. With it being a H frame, doesn't have any under storage, so that's just part of what the H frame is. But easy to take around and different sessions, and easy to compactable to put together. So that's a really good one for you to have a little look at. So the next one that I've got is, let's have a look where we are now, is the Browning XI Box 36 Compact, and that's 369.99. So around the same price as we were with the MAP. And again, this is a good looking box, and Browning often get overlooked. This one's saying it's an RRP of $5.50. It's a good looking box, as you can see from under there. It looks nice on the back as well. I don't show that on the picture. And it's got some nice little features. Again, it's a H frame, so it doesn't have the underbox, so it is still in that bracket. Let's have a little look at it, what we say about it. I've sat on it a few times. It's comfy enough. It's got the stuff that you need in this sort of category, but it just gets overlooked a little bit, I think, for what's out there. It's got the different drawers, side drawers either side. One's slightly shallower, one's slightly deeper. It's pretty standard in that sense, but then it's a bit like the MAP, an H frame, so it's very similar in the MAP sort of market, but a slightly bigger leg and a slightly different colour, but it's completely down to what you want. It has got a little bit of sort of perforated metal underneath, which you could sort of sit things on, maybe a bait bag or anything that you're bringing in with you, because the foot plate slides underneath it. But that, I mean, again, that's up to you. Pole sock, of course, and a nice seat. It is a nice seat on that Browning as well, actually. So that definitely worth a look, and that's my number 3, and it just pips the map on the fact that you've got a bit of storage on that perforated tray underneath, so you can rest things on it. That's my only thing, but it's a very, very fine line between both of those, and it is a tenner cheaper. I mean, my next one is number 2 is the Matrix S25 Super Box. So we've had this in the categories before, the S25 Super Box, just like the S36 Super Box. It's, you know, a known sort of box. It's been out for a long time. It's had a couple of generations of it. It is black and lime. I had the S36. It's the predecessor of the XR range, and that one's sat at about 350 to 360, depending on the colour and things like that. Some people charge more. It's got the 2 side drawers, like everything. It's got the inserts of the Matrix inserts already in there, so you've got everything segregated in your drawer, which is really, really helpful when you're putting things in, and you don't have to buy them separate, which is good. But then again, the box itself is a little bit more expensive. This isn't on a H frame, it's on a stable platform, and I tell you now, it's heavy. It is a proper heavy box, but it is also a very, very strong box. The seat is slightly softer than the newer XR seats, which is good, because the newer XR seats a little bit hard for my liking. Might be good for some people, not as comfortable for myself. The box, like I said, comes in black and lime. It is a very good box, comes with under storage as well, and they're almost identical bar the legs between the 36 and the 25. In fact, they are the same, but I do like the 36 better, because it's just a feel with the legs. But this is just, it feels super stable, and in this price bracket, it is a real contender. And don't get put off by the fact that it's an older box. It is still a really, really good box. And that leads me on to my number 1. And this is going to be no probable surprise to people. But it is the Inception station. You can get it in various colours. Mine's in graphite, this one's in graphite. And I'm just mega impressed with it. It's something that I was looking and debating to drop into this sort of area for a little bit. Neutral money on the map. Sold it to one of my really good friends that fishes with me all the time. He's definitely going to see that out to the end of his fishing days. So I know it's in a safe, good place with someone that looks after it. And the Inception, great. It's really, really good on a fixed frame, not an H frame. Looks great in the silver, in the graphite that I've got it in. Two decent sized drawers with the sort of segmentation in there. So already ready to go. Really comfy seat. Not as comfy as the map, but definitely a comfy gel seat. And 30mm legs were something that I've had to adapt to, because obviously I've always owned 36. But you know what? They're absolutely fine. It feels rock solid. The only niggle I have for me is that it's a little taller than normal, and that's just based on me being short. But you know what? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the fishing. It's just on the precipice of being the perfect height of my limit. It comes with a little side tray underneath to put your rigs in. So yeah, all in all, an absolutely top box. £399.99 or 400 quid. There's plenty of them pop up on the marketplace if you want. What you need to do is just make sure, if you really want a newer one, you make sure you find out which is Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3 and so on. There's loads of different ones there out there. There's 3D 150s, 3D 360. There's loads of different types out there with the different legs, the different seats, the different compartments. So do make sure you get the right one that's the one that you want. As like I said, some are H frames, some are fixed platforms. Now that is the last in that category. it's going to cause some controversy. There'll be some other people that, you know, have got other things to say and other things that they'll feel that are better or worse, or feel like they want to be in that category. I will say the Inception is 400 quid for the 3D 150, which is where it's on a H-frame and it's got a little deeper compartment box on, and it's the same price for the 360, which is also on an H-frame that has the seat cassette that clicks on with a seat on it, swiveling 3D seat, 360 seat. So, you know, you can get variations, and that's another reason why it's number one, because it's got a lot of different sort of adaptation for, depending on who you are, what you are, if you're very tall, or if you want a seat, you know, it comes in a few variations, and that's another reason why it's in that 400 quid bracket, bang on, and it does a lot more for your money. So that's why it's my worthy number one. Let's move on to advanced, and this category is where it starts to hot up, and this is where the comment section starts to get rather spicy. Right, boys and girls, advanced. This is my 400 to 600 pound category. So we're going into we've saved up for his birthday or Christmas or event, or we've saved a bit of money up, we've traded a few bits and bobs, we're into the more big boy category now. These are the things that we've maybe had lower price boxes and we've aspirated to getting into this range, and this is the next range above, just under flagships, where we've, you know, we're starting to get some real good products. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything below this still good quality, but this is where we start to take advantage of better. And we're going to start with the number 5. Now, my number 5 might come as a shock to some, probably not to others. I've got friends that have got this box, I've sat on this box many times, and it is just a great box. It is rock solid, it comes with lots of features, but it's not to everybody's taste. And that's the Oxbox Mark II 2.0, or 20 if you want to call it that. And that's in the D25 model, as you can see in the corner. It's 550 smackaroons, so it is a bit of money, but you could roll it down an hill. It is rock solid, it's never going to let you down. It's on an H-frame, so it means it'll go up and down. It does have a foot plate. It does have plenty of different attachments for keep nets, for all sorts of screw devices, higher, lower legs. There's so much involved with this box. It's quite agricultural. It's quite sort of Meccano is probably the best way to describe it. But it allows you to attach wheelbarrows and all sorts of other stuff to it, and it is a quality bit of kit, and it stands alone as a love it or a hate it kind of box, and that's just the kind of box that it is. And it's on there as my number 5. Could easily be my number 1 if it came to durability. It'd definitely be at number 1, just because I feel like you could drop it off a building and it'd be fine. But that's my number 5. My number 4 is, let's jump back to it so we can see while we're doing it. My number 4 is a Guru box. Now, again, that might not be to everybody's cup of tea. Guru, it is a love-hate relationship with me. I like some of the stuff they do. They always look great, but sometimes they don't always sort of deliver. And the one I've got here is the ST8 Stealth Team Reeve Guru box. Now, my ST8 I loved it. It was a great box, and this is the Stealth one, so it's in black. It looks great. $584.99. So it's not cheap, but like I say, this is the category we're in. But it is a rock solid box, and it does look superb. I've put this in here because I feel this is more to my, like I said, it's my personal. I think probably in fact, definitely the Ox box would probably be definitely a better box in regards to its structure and what it can give. But it's not my necessarily cup of tea, so that's why it's at my 5 and this is at my 4. I'll go straight to the worst thing. The worst thing I don't like about this box is the seat. I feel like it's too soft and that you can touch the wood on it and it pinches a little bit on the wood. But other than that, I think it's fab. It looks great. It's 36mm legs, strong joints. I love the way that the foot plate slides in and out. It's got the catchers on it. It's absolutely great. It's got side door storage. It's got rig storage and underneath cassette storage as well. It looks lovely in the stealthed out. You can get it in the orange as well. A little bit more expensive in the orange. But I just think it's an all-round great box and will do you well on the bank, especially on a commercial fishery. So my next one, my number 3, is the Bapta map, and this is a great box. So it's the Map Z30 Elite Mark II. So this is the box, sorry, which was the one under my box, which is, mine was the Z36, being the 36mm, this is the 30mm. It's $469.99, so slightly cheaper in price, in fact a lot cheaper in price to the Guru, and that's why it's in here, because I would have it over the Guru every single day of the week. Definitely. Super stable still with the 30mm legs, really compact, really fits together nicely, looks great in the black and blue. Like I said before, the seat is second to none. It is literally the best seat on the market. Don't care what anybody says, unless you're getting a custom seat, but you'd have to go some going to beat that. And it's just the shape of it as well. Phenomenal. I like it better than the H-frame because it's a fixed frame. That's just the way I am. I love a fixed frame over an H-frame. I just feel more comfortable on it. It just suits my seating, my style of fishing. It comes with the 2 side trays, which are slightly thinner and a deeper one. Again, you have to additionally buy those side inserts, which are a little bit annoying for the trays, but it is a mega box, and as you can see from the photo up here, it looks great as well. It is a proper good looking box, super strong, and got the pole sock on the seat. I do like it, that the fact that the cassettes, the seat is its own cassette, so if you're left-handed like me, and you put your trays on your right, you will able to lift the seat off, completely spin the cassette and put it down, so you can have the pull-out side drawers, or you can have it as it comes, which is to pull them out on your right, which doesn't happen on a lot of boxes, I'll tell you, less than you think, which is a great tray, and the first thing that I always look at before buying a box, because I need it to go that way around, because obviously I'm left-handed in regards to using the pole. So what sometimes happens is that the cassette that feeds the drawers in is attached to the actual seat, which can make it a nightmare to turn the seat round to be the right way, because obviously the pole sock will be at the back, so it can be very frustrating and very annoying. So that is a fantastic thing. So that's why that's my number 3, because it's absolutely superb. And then I've moved on to a little bit of a step up in regards to, I think, strength in the frame, and that's Matrix X36 Pro Shadow Edition. Now you can get this at $550 at the moment for the Shadow one. The other ones are back up to silly money, $674 for a lime, and yeah, I don't know quite why. And there's another one which is the same, that's at 700 quid. Don't quite know why. That is a slightly different titanium colour, maybe it's that. Yeah, so the Matrix just sits slightly over. That's basically because it's a 36mm leg, and the frame is a slightly, I don't know, I don't think it's any stronger. I just feel that it's slightly wider. I do like a wider frame. It's quite a narrow frame on the map. Slightly wider, gives you more presence and feel. I love the fact that you can just click the foot plate and pull it off to wash it, or if you want to do a session where you're on a canal or something like that. The only downside that the map's absolutely got it down over it is the seat. The seat is hard. It's hard. It's not a great seat. In fact, I don't like it at all, the seat. But the box itself is phenomenal, super strong, very well trusted, and it also has those 2 side drawers, but they do come with the dividers, which is another plus, because it is another 30 odd quid on the map box. but it's a very fine margin between that second and third place, I'll be honest. And that comes on to something that you maybe not thought that I was going to do as my number one in this category, and that is the Daiwa Tournament 800 seat box, and that is $589.99. And if I were to pick one in this category as my number one, this is my number one. It's just looks brilliant, sleek design, 36mm legs. I used to have a tournament in the past. Great boxes, loads of storage, side drawers, great seat, great pole sock. Got the 3D legs, the 180 legs where you can turn them round to tighten them, which is a great idea. So you can really get yourself sorted on your peg. It's just a great looking box. The storage wise, I mean, the back looks sick. The tournament in this, it just looks mega. That I love that. Comes with the dividers in the drawers. There's loads of rig sort of storage, absolutely tons. It's built to be a matchman's box. You can insert different. Comes with the two side drawers, but you could insert more if you wanted to. The 36 system's brilliant. The drawers are brilliant. Everything about this box in this price range is why it's number one. It's a fab looking box and definitely well worth. But even number ones come with negatives, and I would say, and I said on the when I reviewed it, they need to do a deeper side draw, and that would make it even more unstoppable. And in fact, it would make me pick anything over in the next category probably if they did deeper side draws as standard. It really would, because I think that's the only thing that it lacks. But other than that, it's a great box, looks absolutely fab with the red. Superb. So we're going to now move on to the one you've all waited for with gritted teeth. I will move on to the Flagships and the 600 plus. Right, boys and girls, the one we've been waiting for, the Flagship £600 plus. Now I'm going to start this off with one which is controversial because I don't think anyone has ever heard of it, and the only time I've ever seen it or heard of it is from Tommy Pickering, and I only have seen it and touched it and sat on it and played with it because I was at his house when he pulled it out and said, I've got this, I'm going to release it on my Facebook, and nobody's seen it yet, so don't tell anybody. I was there doing some filming with him, and it is the MK Quattro Seatbox Bomber. Now, I can't give you loads of information about it, boys and girls. We didn't have time to do a little review on it, otherwise I'd have done it, but it's an unusual box. It only has 4 legs, even though it's on a platform. It has a foot plate, so you get 2 on the foot plate and 2 on the rear of the box, and it has a mechanism to make it go up and down, and then it has 2 sort of half legs with no bottom for you to put your attachments on. So it is weird, and obviously you can adjust those up and down, so it gives you some different height if you want in your sort of your side trays at different heights without actually raising your legs, so that's an advantage. It gives you side drawers, nice pole seats, very comfy to be fair, and it's solidly, it's like built like an absolute beast. You can probably see from a photo, it is built to last. So yeah, 950 quid though, 99, which is a lot of dollar. And I'll be honest, you're paying for the quality craftsmanship of the frame, the mechanisms, that's what you're paying for. But in my opinion, for me, that's got to sit at my 5, because there's boxes in the other category before it that I probably would have over that, if I'm honest, and certainly ones in this category that are way cheaper that I would definitely have over it. So that's my number 5. And number 4 is going to make Dan Gummerson and Kelv very happy, is the Guru RSW. Now at the moment, Fishing Tackle and Bait are doing this for under £1,000, which is mega, because at the moment the cheapest you can find is at £1,349, which is mental, absolutely mental. I understand and I respect with fishing, if you have the money and you want to buy it, then I have no problem with that. It's people's money, they earn it, they work hard for it. That is their prerogative on what they want to buy. Just like when I bought the AirZ AGS rod and tournament reel for 700 quid. Stupid amount of money for a feeder rod, but I wanted to do it. I had the money to do it at that time from my bonus. I treat myself to one thing a year. That was that thing. Now, that is the same with this. If you want in an absolutely great box and you have the money, then it is a great box. Do I think it is the best box on the market, even though it's that price? No. In my opinion, it's not. I don't think it's got as many features. I think it's a little bit fiddly with how you get out the under tray, and I still don't think the seat's as good as everybody raves on. I like the fact that it's slightly over the, slightly wider, so it sits over the frame. But I still think you can feel the wood if you sit in certain ways on it. The Absolute and the Map seat is way better. I'm sorry if that annoys people, but that's just my opinion. The box itself looks incredible. It's the elements of carbon and black and orange just make it look absolutely amazing. If you go to Stuart Jolly at Paul Knows Buns and you get the screw cap inserts for the tops of the legs in orange, makes it look even better in my opinion, as he does them in Guru Orange. The footplate's really easy to use and to slide in with the little turn knobs at the bottom, and it is silky smooth and it is a strong frame and footplate. Although the back of them, again, I felt like for the money that they spent on them, I thought the X on the back shouldn't be in plastic, it should have been metal or carbon fibre or whatever. Again, that annoyed me a little bit. I just felt like it could have been better. The focus, I don't know what. That's my opinion. And if you want to go on a full review, you know, go and look it up on YouTube. I think we're probably the first one that'll pop up. Go see my review of it, and you'll have your own opinions. But in my opinion, it's sat firmly at my number 4. But do go fishing, tackle and bait at the moment. They've got them under £1,000. So if you do want it with your Christmas money, now's the time to go and steal one off them. So that moves me on to my number 3. And we're back to something that, again, is not particularly my cup of tea, but is of many. And that is the MK19D 36 seat box from Oxbox. And at $8.50, still a lot of money, but you get a lot of box. Now, I remember Mr. Richardson, the lovely Mr. Richardson that used to obviously run Angling For You with us, sadly not with us anymore. He has this box and it has fantastic amount of kit with it. I mean, I think he bought sort of an additional thing, so about 1,100, which when you consider is still cheaper than the Reeve and the stuff that he got with it, it's a right bargain. The frame, I swear to God, you could run into it with your car. I think it'd do more damage to modern cars now than it would that box. Comes with loads of storage, great seat, great adaptations, loads of combinations, great side trays. It is the nuts for that money. It's just a great box. There's nothing I can say bad about it. I honestly can't, apart from the fact it's just not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea, and again, it's on an H-frame. I'm not an H-frame lover. But other than that, I can't say bad about it because there isn't anything bad about it. If you want an H-frame, it's best H-frame on market by far. If you want all the additional adaptations that could do canals, rivers, commercials, there is no better box. If you want a box that looks like a Meccano set, that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. But it is bob on. I can't say anything. So it's a weird one that I've put in my number 3 because it is that good. But the other two for me are just a little bit better, and they're not necessarily better in what they come with and all that kind of stuff. They're just better for me, what I enjoy, what my kind of box is like. So that moves us on to number 2, and that is the brand new 2022 Absolute Station from Preston. In my opinion, is probably going to be one of the best boxes out there, but I haven't put it as my number 1 this season because I haven't got it and I haven't had my hands on it yet. So I cannot categorically say that it is better. So I know it's got all the same features as the previous one, which was high up on my list, plus some additional features, some more strengthening on the frame, the joins, and it has newer little bits of features on there. They always have a great seat, some of the best seats on the market, durable, grippable material, waterproof, super gel soft, has the nice side trays, there's the great legs, twist caps, really strong foot plate, really strong frame, looks the absolute magic. 850 quid, so not cheap. None of these boxes are cheap in this category. So that is my number 2. Now I'm pretty sure everybody's worked it out, because it hasn't appeared yet, what my number 1 is. And I loved it. It is the MAP Z36 Elite Mark II. It is by far the best box I've ever had. Potentially until we get the new Absolute. It is just fantastic. It's a great box. I can't say really anything bad about it. I think the only negative is it's not super wide. I mean, I'm not super wide, and I'll be working even more on that now I've got my hernias fixed. But it's not super wide. So if you're a big lad or a big lady, no offence, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to be touching sort of the legs and stuff like that. So that is a little bit of a negative. Other than that, it is superb. The side trays, so the other negative is obviously they don't come with the dividers, you have to buy them. But if you get it from a decent place like I did, they'll throw them in for either a reduced price or for free, depending if that, you know, what you're spending on it. So once you got that in, it is the best hands down seat that's on market. I don't care what anybody says. They can only debate me if they've sat on the Z36 and the one that they want to debate me with. There is no better seat. It is superb. The gel, the shape, it's the shape as well. With it angling down forwards, your back to your legs are not touching it, so it's really comfy. It's not got that sort of edge that's touching back of your legs. Super comfy. The frame looks amazing in blue. I'm a tart, so clearly I love that. I got the blue Ponos Bungs screw caps on the top, which has finished it off with the Angling For You logo. That's up to you if you want to do that. it did absolutely suit it. If you want to look on our Instagram at angling_for you, you can have a look at that and see what that looked like. Like I said, Glyn has very graciously taken that off my hands at a great price of £400. So he's made a great saving, as this is £645 brand new. And I keep my stuff in great condition, so I know that that's going to go to Glyn, and he's going to have many years of happiness with that frame and box. So the other features, obviously, it's got an underneath tray. Personally, I'm not a massive matchman anymore. I never have been really, apart from years and years back. So I don't fish loads of matches, so I don't need loads of rigs done up. I personally, when I film, I tie most of the rigs on that video so you can see them. But there's plenty of space to probably fit another 4 cassettes underneath it, and then obviously you can start building on top of the main frame if you'd like as well, for additional cassettes. And they're pretty reasonable in price as well. The good thing is it slides forward and backwards, so you can pull it out the back, push it out the front, depending on where you are or how it's set up. The 36mm legs, like I said, really strong. I never really moved the main joint. I always used to extend it from the bottom to get the right height, and I never had an issue. No slips, no nothing. The foot plate's great, and again, sorry, like I said, they're not as wide, so if you've got big feet, you might find a little bit of space issue on there, and that's where the Matrix obviously does well with its wider frame. But for me, it was absolutely fantastic, and there were enough space on there, and that's why it's my number 1. You might all be surprised why the XR36 Pro is not in there, but we did put it in the category below because there was a deal on it for £550, so it did sit in the category below. If you were to get the Matrix, it's a little bit more expensive, between £675 and £700 pounds for the lime or for the graphite kind of colour one. But for me, they don't match up against the Z36 in that price range. And I'd have one over the one in the lower price range as well. They're just for me, they're my favourite box on the market at the moment, until probably I get the Preston, but I still wouldn't be bothered either way. And you probably say, why did you change? And I've changed because that's what I do. I change around, and I like to have things on the channel that suit every budget, and that's why I've got the Inception. It's something I want to have a go with and a little play with, and I'm loving it, and it's super comfy and does everything that I need. But it never will be as beautiful as that Z36. And the main thing I liked about it was it's so low, and me being short, that's, you know, it's great. So it just sat lush, slow, low to the ground, and it just felt like everything were around you, and it just felt great. Just felt great. So that's my number one. Hopefully, sorry about the old coughs, but hopefully this one has been a fun one for you. It's been a fun one for me, reminiscing through all these different types of categories of seat box, and looking through all the different price ranges, and hopefully, you know, this give you a help if you're looking for a new box. And you can message me down your thoughts, and if you feel like you want some more additional questions. But I hope you'll get some good advice from this. And until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Tight lines.